Hello, everyone. Whoa, we have got a mess. Wow, this is interesting how I just showed up. Very interesting. What? Oh, well, this is beach hair. We're just going with it. We're just going with it. Hi, you guys. Welcome to Untangled episode 14. What a time to be alive, especially when you got hair like this. How are you guys? I'm so excited to be here. I love you guys too. Good evening. Hi, Patrick. Hi, Taz, Michelle, Astrid, Debbie, Kat, Anna, Michael, MC, Aya, Sue, Wes. I love you guys. I'm really happy to be here. I have so much to share. Just kind of checking this all out. Hi, Annie. You guys, I can't wait to share my experience with the Dolphins. Oh my gosh. I woke up this morning and I was crying because I was missing them so much. I'm just going to give it a minute or two. Can you guys let me know how the volume is? How the sound is? Um it's perfect. Okay, good. I yeah, I okay. Yay, sound is good. My course is powerful. Thank you so much for taking it. Oh my god, yes, last Saturday's class was so intense. Wow, if you guys are interested in tapping deeper into your quote unquote signature or the reason that you are here, your purpose, your mission, this course I'm doing right now is so powerful. It's really, really activating. Um, and what's been coming through has been blowing my mind because I never know how I'm going to teach. I never know what's going to come through when I teach. When I teach, I always just kind of do an outline and that's it. And then I let the information come through. And it's really been um, a powerful remembrance of how to kind of surrender into why are you here? What was the reason that you incarnated, right? And it's on Saturday's class, it was all about letting go of trying to figure out why you're here. This whole idea of this whole piece of suffering. Why did I come here? I know I came here for something. Why am I here? We suffer in that. And it's like you're running around in a circle in like a mouse in a cage. And it's like, dude, just chill. Stop asking because the answer is inside, right? And it's not an answer. It's a beingness. It's a knowingness. So what came through on Saturday was this idea or this remembrance of you don't have to find the answer. You have to know that it's already you. You have to know that you dropped in. You have to start at this level of like, wait, I know that I came here for something. Can that be enough? Can I settle and stop and just be in that? Right? And when you just stay with that, I came here for something, and you have an absolute 100% knowingness in that, then everything else drops in at the time that it's designed to drop in. It's the ego that wants to figure it out. It's the ego that complains. It's the ego that's in victim mode. It's the ego that's like bitching and moaning and having temper tantrums. And when you're in victim mode and when you're complaining and bitching and moaning about the fact that you don't know why you're here and how come I don't know what I'm doing and why is this blah, 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 you are not aligned with your signature. And when you're not aligned with your signature, you're never going to find it. So if you're running around in circles complaining and bitching and moaning about how you know you're here for something, but you don't know what it is and why am I not in my purpose and blah, 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 you're out here completely misaligned, circling. Just come in and know that you're here for something massive. Can that be enough? Can you know that? Can you know that? Can you know that? Know that like you know your name. And why can't you if you can't? Why do you have to have physical proof of something showing you? Because you're not going to have that. Okay, I can go on and on and on and on and on, but it's a really powerful class, and I'll leave the link down below if you want to join. It's also on my website. Powerful. And this coming up tomorrow, we're doing a Q&A, and then this Saturday is the last class, but it's open forever. So you can jump in whenever you want and whenever you need and just watch the course. It's 4 live teachings and 3 Q&As. Extremely powerful. And it's not just about finding your purpose and like, why are you here? Because you may never find it, meaning it may never satisfy you. Okay. Um, but it's also about aligning with your soul, with your essence, with who you are. and there's a peace in that, a calm in that. Because many of us don't have the same missions as other people, even if we really want it. Like, I really want to be a this or a that. And what if that's not what if that's not in your signature, you know? And so you're fighting against. So it's an aligning with your essence, with your soul. It's finding peace. Okay, let's talk about what's been going on. Holy Moses. I'm just glad everybody's here. We're all alive. We're all making it through this powerful portal. Okay, so I'm in Florida. First, I want to talk about the Dolphins. I have to talk about how I got to see the Dolphins. So let's see. On Friday, it was Friday. I've been going through a lot this past week, a lot of really eye-opening awarenesses around the patterns in my life with friendships, um, and just the way I view myself and the way I am with people, and um, losing myself in other individuals, putting other people first before myself. Um, am I still a people pleaser? Am I not a people pleaser? Am I listening to resonance? Am I not listening to resonance? Is this trauma or is this resonance, right? All of these things are coming up. And so I've been really going deep into um, how am I showing up in the world? And I see dolphins all the time in the ocean when I'm in Florida. So on Friday morning, I was sitting out and these dolphins started to swim, and I was like, "Oh man, there's just such a calling to them, right? Such a heart calling." And later on that afternoon, I was talking to a girlfriend of mine, Kyla. She swam with dolphins many times in Hawaii, and she's like, "Oh, why don't you go swim with dolphins?" And I'm like, she goes, "Go to Bimini," and I'm like, Bimini's an island in the Bahamas, and I'm like, I don't think I'll be able to get in. And she's like, "Well, just try." So there were a couple companies in Bimini. Bimini is an island, like the closest island off of Miami. So I start reaching out and calling for the next like couple of hours, and I could tell that everything was kind of booked. I was like, "Oh, I don't think I'm gonna get in." They didn't have openings until like September or late August, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go swim with them on Monday, the 8/8, when the portal is the most potent." Like, there are many dolphins are from the Syrian consciousness, right? So they hold Syrian energies, and I was like, "Wow, I am going to swim with the dolphins on the 8/8 portal. It's gonna happen." And this is in like 3 days, right? But I just knew it was gonna happen. So I'm calling the 3 companies. I can't get a hold of anybody. I reach out to one of them on Instagram. They reached back out the following day on Saturday, and they said, "We can't. We're so sorry." So in the meantime, I go swimming with a friend of mine. We go out into the ocean. This is like a couple of hours after I decided I'm gonna swim with the dolphins on Monday. So we're out there and literally we're talking about swimming with the dolphins, and he makes some dolphin noise, right? And literally 10 feet away, we're in water that's like up to here, maybe 10 feet away, this dolphin comes up and just does their little like, right? And we were like, what the freak? And nobody else around us saw this dolphin. It was so close to us. And I was like, if that's not a sign that I'm going to go swim with the dolphins, pretty sure I don't know what is. So now I'm super stoked. Now I'm like, oh, this is happening. This is on. It is on like Donkey Kong. We are going to swim. So I just don't know how it's going to happen, right? So this is Friday afternoon. Um, I've reached out to all the companies in Bimini, and I sort of just let it lay. I'm like, if I'm supposed to swim with them, I'm going to swim with them. And Saturday comes around, and I, yeah, I think it was Friday. It could have been Thursday, you guys. I don't know. No, I think it was Friday. Anyway, Saturday morning comes around, and it's looking like nothing's going to happen. I heard back from another company, they can't. So there's just one more company that I haven't heard from. And I was like, "Well, I'm good with nothing happening," you know? And And something made me what was it that made me reach out on Google? Let me try to remember exactly how I decided. Um, oh, my friend sent me an Instagram, company, and he goes, "Hey, this guy does fishing out on, Panama City Beach," and I was like he's like, "Maybe he'll do dolphin swims," and I was like, "No, I think it would show if he was doing dolphin swims," and then I was like, "Let me just Google swimming with the wild dolphins," right, in Florida. Totally random. And so this company comes up called, I forgot the name of the company, I'll let you guys know, because if you're in Florida, you need to go. Hold on. I Google, and this is the first company that comes up, and they do wild dolphin swims in Florida, and I was like, "I thought it was illegal in the United States, right?" But I was like, "I'm in." So I go and look on their calendar, and there's, like, no slots, no slots, no slots, right? And then there's a slot available on 8/8. And I was like, just gonna book it and cross my fingers that they actually swim with wild dolphins. I have no idea. So I booked it and then I went and looked and I was like, oh yeah, they actually swim with wild dolphins. Like they're out there in the freaking ocean swimming with wild dolphins. So I booked it. But before I booked it, I wanna go back for a second because I think it was Thursday, not Friday. I think it was Thursday that I decided I was gonna swim with the dolphins. And so all day Friday is when I realized maybe it wasn't gonna happen, and I really let it go, okay? I really did. I didn't try to force it or push it. I was like, "Well, I guess I'm not gonna swim with the dolphins, and if I am, then something will happen." So it was Thursday that I started deciding. It was Thursday when I saw the dolphin. And then it was Friday when I realized, "Oh my god, I don't think it's gonna happen," and I really let it go. I did. I just said, "It's not gonna happen, it's fine." And then it was Saturday when my friend sent me this Instagram and this fisherman guy. He's not the one that took me out, but it was him being in, Panama City where I was like, "Let me just Google, uh, wild dolphins in Florida." Now, I would never would have Googled that if my friend didn't send me the, Instagram feed of this company. I wouldn't have. And so this is the importance of sort of really letting go of not forcing and pushing, okay? Because if I had forced and pushed, I may not have seen I may not have been open to Googling Florida. I may have been so focused on Bimini. I may have been so focused on other islands in the Bahamas, right? So there's this need to take this surrendered action in life, okay? Where you are surrendering to what's showing up. You're letting go of trying to control the outcome while you simultaneously take action, but the action is from a surrendered state. The surrender meaning that you are moving towards what you may or may not get, but you are not attached to it. When you become attached to something, you have tunnel vision, and then you will not see the way the universe wants to deliver it to you. I did not know that I was gonna go to Florida and like 6 hours from here and do that. I didn't know that, right? If I was so focused on making sure it happened and this is how it's gonna happen, boom, I would have perhaps missed this, right? If I had taken control and tried to do it my way. You have to be in this surrendered state as you're taking action in life. Otherwise, you're going to miss how your higher self wants to present things to you. It's extremely important. The surrendered action is huge right now for us. So I reached out to the guy, I called him. I was like, "Hey, do you actually do wild dolphin swims?" He's like, "Yeah." Turns out they're the only ones in the United States that have a permit. And I can't remember why they have this permit, but it's like this certain province in Panama City Beach where they're allowed to do this. Nowhere else in the United States, including Hawaii, it's illegal now in Hawaii to swim with wild dolphins. I'm going to tell you why it's illegal once I explain to you what happened to me. But first, let me give you guys the name because just in case anybody wants to go, they're all year round. Well, no, I think it ends in December, but they're freaking amazing. And it's in, Panama City, and, um shoot, I don't have the name. I'll get it to you guys, though, okay? Um, and I wanna get it to you guys right now, so hold on. Water planet, water planet, water planet, water planet, water planet, Tampa, Panama City Beach. So, check them out. Dennis is the owner. Amazing. Unbelievable. Okay, so I'm in Clearwater. I'm 6 hours from, Panama City. That doesn't stop me. So I book it on Saturday and I leave Sunday and I drive up there. And, I have to be back here for Untangled and other things. So I basically drove 12 hours and 24 hours. I drove 12 hours. I drove up there, I swam with the dolphins, I drove back. That's the other thing, like, I never let, like, details stop me. Never. I don't say to myself, "Oh, that's too far, I'm not gonna go," or, "Oh, that's too far, it's blah." No. Mm-mm. I let the universe show me. And if the universe says, "This is where you're going," then that's where I go. I don't say to myself, "Oh my god, how is this gonna happen?" Like, with like, no. This is what we do. We moan, we bitch and moan and complain about things because it's not the way we necessarily want it. It's never gonna be necessarily the way you want it to unravel, right? We have to let go. We have to stop trying to control the way we want things to go, as if you know better than your higher self. I don't know better than my higher self. My higher self is always guiding me. I had no idea when I was starting to look in Bimini that it was actually going to be 6 hours down the road here in the United States. I had no idea. Right. And I wasn't looking for that. I didn't say to myself, oh my God, well, maybe I should look elsewhere. I didn't until my friend sent me this. And it was like, oh, here comes somebody, a friend, as an angel saying, check out this guy. And then that opened me up to something else. Very, very important lesson here, in my opinion, is surrendered action. And it's not easy because if I had wanted to swim, I really knew I was going to swim with him. But if I also let go of swimming with him, that's surrender. I wanted so badly to swim with them that I knew I had to let go of ever swimming with them. And it was in that space that I was surrendered. Because when you're surrendered, you know that whatever is for your highest good is going to happen. You do not know what is for your highest good. You being the ego, the personality, the mind, the part of you that runs off of trauma, triggers, shadow. That's the part of us, programming, manipulation, mind control. That's the part of us that's always trying to stay in control, that's always trying to lead, that's always trying to make decisions, that's always trying to be in action, creating life. And that is what is literally perpetuating your suffering. It's literally perpetuating the victim mentality. It's perpetuating all the patterns that you continue to see yourself in. It's only when we stop and we say, okay, I'm done trying to control. No matter how badly I want something, I'm going to let go and I'm going to settle into what if I never get it? It's okay if I never receive it. And that is a surrendered state where higher self can start to lead you. Right. So, anywho, yesterday, I'm all by myself. I was going to go with my friend and I told him no. I really knew I needed to go on my own. I needed to do this by myself. Um, I knew I needed to do this on my own. And I could feel yesterday morning, I was leaving at 1:30 to go on the boat. I could feel the connection with the dolphins. I could feel that they knew I was coming. I felt into their energies. There was like this energetic connection that was already happening. Like we were preparing for our connection, our reunion, right? I could feel it. When you start connecting into other energies outside of the physical realm, you can start to feel like you probably can feel people in other cities, right? Or you can feel your mom, or you can feel your partner. You can feel energies when they're not right in front of you, right? You can start tapping into that. That's you tapping into the quantum field, which means that you're accessing energies that are not directly in front of you. So I could feel them, and we knew when we were going to be meeting. So we get on the boat, and of course, typical Florida fashion, in the afternoon, thunderstorms always come. So as soon as we get on the boat, 20 minutes out, because he takes you out onto this like island that's outside of right off of the Panama City Beach area. And as soon as he took us out, he was like, we have to go. He starts speeding towards this, like this rock in this cove area. And he's like, "It's gonna start to rain. We're gonna have a thunder and lightning storm. You need to get in the water." And I was like, "Excuse me, John Louis, but I'm pretty sure the last thing you wanna do when there's a lightning storm is get inside of the water. Like, that is not what I wanna do when there's a lightning storm. Jumping in the water is an absolute negatory negative." I said, "This trip is not turning out. It is not starting correctly. This is not going well. We've Houston, we have a problem." And he's like, "It's a lot warmer in the water. Get in the water." So I do what the captain says because I am not in charge and I've paid this man. So I'm going to do what he says. So I get in the water. It's a lot warmer in the water. He was correct. It was a warm bath. As we're all kind of like sitting in there, massive amounts of lightning and thunder come and winds that are like, this was one of the most potent storms I've seen in a really long time. I'm talking rain that hurt, lightning that was like you could see it coming down onto the ocean. Um, it was insane. It was like 20, 25 minutes probably. And the captain is on the boat and he's got like his ocean or his rain vest and the boat's doing this. And I'm like, okay, so once the storm stops, I'm now going to be freezing on a boat, soaking wet. Sweet baby Jesus, this is not looking good. The storm stops, the lightning stops, the thunder stops. We get back in the boat. I'm freezing cold. I'm like this, shivering, like I'm gonna die of like hypothermia. And he's like, "All right, well," he's like, "That was one of the most intense." Those were what did he call it? What kind of winds were those? Hurricane winds that we just had. He's like, "But don't worry, it's gonna clear up." And so I was like, "Okay, he knows what he's talking about. He's the captain. It's gonna clear up." So because of this storm, all the other boats that were going to be, because there were like other companies that take their customers out to the same areas, right? And because of this storm, a lot of boats went in. So there were only 2 boats in this area where we were gonna swim with the dolphins. So we had the dolphins all to ourselves. There was nobody else around for the rest of the afternoon. So it was a blessing that I almost got killed with lightning as I was sitting in the ocean when there's a lightning storm, which is the last thing you wanna do. It was a blessing because all the boats left. All the boats left. And so it's mucky waters, which is fine, whatever, Jaws may be down there. I'm good with Jaws. I just wanna swim with the freaking dolphins. And it's calm and quiet, and the rain has stopped, and then all of a sudden, we start to see the dolphins, and they're everywhere, everywhere. And I was like, "Oh my god." And he gives us the protocol of like, "Okay, put your feet over the edge, put your little, uh, eye goggle things on." I didn't have a snorkel. I would have brought one if I didn't know they didn't give you the little snorkel thing, right? They just gave you the goggles, which sucks because then you have to keep coming up for air. So I practically drowned like 8 times, but I will drown for dolphins. So there's all of a sudden, like, we're all sitting on the boat, edge of the boat, and the dolphins are just right there. And I'm thinking, swimming with the dolphins, that you're gonna have to swim with them. Like, they're gonna go like this, and you're gonna have to, like, swim with them. Like, I'm gonna have to be a swimmer now. Like, I should have taken swim lessons because now I'm gonna have to swim. Contraire mon frere, that's not what happened. They play with you. They freaking play with you. So we jump in. Water's pretty dark because of the storms and just everything that was happening, and there are, like, 15 dolphins swimming around us, like, they are, like, jumping up and then diving down and swirling around us, and they would go under, so you're, like, kind of floating, right? And they'll jump down, they'll go under you, they'll turn their belly up, and they'll look up at you, right? Or they'll go sideways under you, and then they'll just come to the side and just go sideways for a second and just look at you, and then they'll go away, and then they'll come back in. They're not swimming. They're not go I don't have to swim with them. Like, we're in the ocean playing together. I was like, "What is this?" What I was crying. of course, I almost drowned 800 times because you have to come up for air because I didn't have, like, a little snorkel thing. Um, and then I was diving in to go deeper with them because they would, like, and then they would jump up, and then they would come back down, and they would do all and there were these 2 that in front of me, like, probably 8 feet, I mean, you could touch them, but you weren't allowed to. They were so close you could touch them. And, like, you'd be looking at one, and then all of a sudden one would come right in front of you, and you're like, "What the fuck?" Like, and then you'd look to the side and there's another one, and I'm telling you, they're not going anywhere. They're like they're just circling us. It's like they know the humans are here, it's time to play. And so in front of me, like, I don't know, maybe 8 feet, not even 8 feet, these 2 dolphins appeared, and they started playing with each other, and they started swirling and wrestling and doing this, like, game with each other, like, directly in front of me. And I'm like, but I was under the water. Again, I had to hold my breath. I almost died. I was under the water, and I was looking at them, and they were, like, right by the top of the water, and they were just doing this dance, right? And I'm like, is this for real? Is this for real? Like, what is this? And energetically, I felt these beings. You knew that you could hear their noises they were making. You could hear the clicks, you could hear the squeaks. Um, you could feel that they were higher consciousness. You could feel that they were a reflection of a state of awareness and a state of being that we are trying to reach. You could feel that they were telepathically communicating. What I didn't understand that was happening was there was massive activations happening and healings happening with me at the same time. Now, because I was so in awe of what was happening, and I almost drowned 100 times, I was trying to survive, but also, like, in awe of what was happening. I couldn't talk because I was under the water. I didn't know what to do. So there was a lot of just like, "What is this? I can't believe this." All day long. So I really didn't get to, like, meditate into the energies, right? It wasn't like I could just sit there in the water. There was a couple that would there was so about, like, you had about, like, 10 minutes, right? 5 to 10 minutes with this pod, and then it would leave, and then you'd get back on the boat, you'd go find another pod, you'd jump in. We did that like 7 times. So there we got to jump I got to play with them for about 2.5, 3 hours. 7 different times we jumped in and played. And every once in a while, they would start to swim away, and there'd be, like, one that would just hang out for a little bit, right, underneath, right? And it was at that moment that I could sort of connect into the energy of it. But because there was so much activity and so much movement, it was challenging for me to connect to the energies of them in that moment, like, really connect, because I was just in awe. I just was in awe. I was in absolute awe. Um, but it wasn't until last night and this morning that I realized, like, what the power of being in their energy, the healing the healing power that these dolphins have is unbelievable. What they're capable of doing with the human is unreal. Now, everybody that was with me, there was only 4 other people. They had no idea they were swimming with basically aliens. They had no idea they were swimming with higher dimensional beings, right? They knew they were swimming with dolphins. They just saw it as a dolphin. I knew I was swimming with higher dimensional beings. I knew I was swimming with higher consciousness. I just didn't realize until last night when I got home and this morning the amount of healing that was done on my body, and the way in which they knew that they were serving me without me realizing that I was being served by them. And they do that with every human that they swim with. It's just a matter of whether you are able to feel that afterwards. And maybe even, like, if I were to go back and swim with them, I'd probably uh, have a very different experience. I would probably try to, I don't know, who knows what it would happen. But now that I know what happens afterwards, the only word I have for it is an activation. It was an activation. It was a physical and energetic activation and healing. And I can still feel the connection to them, like as if I had a relationship with them and then we broke up and now they're no longer in my life, right? But you can feel the energy. I can feel them. Um, I can hear them. I can hear them communicating to this morning. Um, like if I lived closer, I would go back again today, tomorrow, the next day. I would go back every day if I could while I was here. It's incredible what we have access to that we don't access necessarily because we don't necessarily realize the benefit or the potential benefit that these beings have. Because I was driving home and the 6-hour drive went by in like 20 minutes. I was like, how am I already home? Right? Because I was so activated. My whole body felt like it had been cleansed. Like something had happened, something had cleansed, something had shifted, like something had got pulled out of me. Like a hose came in and like sucked out stuff. That's the only way I can describe the feeling. Um, but I remember thinking to myself, I was like, wow, this is the only place in the United States where it is legal. And how many people go here? Because I asked him, I asked Dennis, I was like, are you busy the whole season? He goes, no, just the summertime. I was like, why? And this is why it's illegal to swim with dolphins. It's not because we're going to harm them. It's not because it's bad for them. It's because it activates humans. It's because it awakens humans. It's because it is a reflection of where humanity is going. It is because these dolphins can heal us in ways that we cannot heal ourselves. I mean, we can always heal ourselves, but they have tools and abilities that we don't have access to, that doctors don't have access to, that holistic doctors don't have access to. Now, of course, we have access to our own healing abilities within us, but there's so much trauma, right? So they just last August, it's illegal now to do it in Hawaii. The dolphins are fine. The dolphins are here to interact with us. The dolphins hold 5D consciousness, 5D. They are in fifth dimensional awarenesses. They are in fifth dimensional frequencies. One of the reasons that we have dolphins and whales, right? These mammals, sharks, all of them. One of the reasons that we have them on the planet at this time, they were designed to hold fifth dimensional states of awareness, meaning that their bodies are vibrating in a fifth dimensional frequency on purpose. That was intentional. That was the divine design of this third dimensional physical planet. Trees are the same way. They are designed to hold fifth dimensional consciousness for the sole purpose of being able to activate the human into the remembrance of what they're stepping into. And so there are forces and powers that be. This isn't this isn't a conspiracy theory. This is just the energetic battle that we have been in for thousands of years. We are constantly being programmed to step away from anything that is going to continue to allow us to be activated. That's why when I drink my plasma, my urine, it is the largest um, um, deception that humanity has ever been told. Why? Because it is the one thing that can activate you faster than anything else. It's the one thing that can heal you better than anything else. It's the one thing that can bring you into a deep, deep self-love beyond anything else. And it's the one thing that most humans have the most cognitive dissonance around. Why do you think that is? Same reason we can't swim with dolphins, right? It's illegal for a doctor to prescribe urine. as a remedy. It's illegal in the United States. Why? There hasn't been one study ever shown that a human has died or gotten sick off of urine. But urine, you can get your license taken away if you prescribe urine. Why? Why are we not allowed to swim with dolphins if you do it in a way that is safe, which is what they've done in Hawaii, which is what they're doing here? They don't feed them, they don't touch them. Why? We are literally having to fight against everything that we have been taught. We are having to look at every single program, every single piece of cognitive dissonance right now, including the governments, including every lie that we are told in the media. All of the propaganda, all of this is designed to keep us disempowered. And this isn't, you don't perpetuate this by looking at it. You don't create your reality by looking at it. You have to see this in order to recognize what you are in. You have to see the lies. You have to see the massive, massive deception all around us. If we all swam with dolphins every single freaking day, this entire planet would be a different planet. If you were aware of what you were swimming with, right? You have to be aware. You have to be able to feel. Like the people that we were with, did they have an activation? Yeah. Were they aware of it? No. So nothing happens. That's why awareness is key to everything. If you are not aware, you cannot choose. And if you cannot choose, it's going to be very difficult to shift. This is what is so crazy about the human evolutionary process, is that it takes choice. You can have all of these things happening within you, all the healings, all the everything, but if you are not aware of how you are being and how you are thinking and how you are doing, none of it's going to matter. I could have every activation on the planet from these dolphins, every healing from these dolphins, but I have to now take action with that. I have to allow the activations and the healings that I received to now be expressed outwardly through my thoughts, through my beliefs, through my behaviors, through my choices. And this is what I think humanity doesn't understand. We think that we can go and have an activation and a healing and that it's just going to be done. Wipe our hands and we're good. Right? Instant healing, instantness. We don't have to actually look at how we show up in the world. You have to look at how you are in the world. You have to choose. Every single moment is a choice. The activations and the upgrades and the healings, they're always happening for us. It's just a matter of, are you aware? That's why there's so many people around you where you're like, why are they not shifting? Why are they not aware of this? Why are they not feeling this? Why are they? Because they're not aware of it. They're not conscious of what's happening. The people that were swimming with me, beautiful humans, but they weren't conscious of what they were experiencing, meaning they weren't conscious of the energy exchange. They weren't conscious of the telepathy. They weren't conscious of what was actually energetically happening. They still had an amazing time. And perhaps they'll be shifted, but most likely they won't, and they don't need to be. It's not their path right now, right? Just because I understood that we were literally swimming with higher dimensional beings and that we all had a potential for massive activations and healings doesn't mean that they needed to. I don't need to tell these people what they're experiencing. I don't need to tell them what they should or shouldn't do. That's not for me to do. They're in charge of their lives. They're in charge of their awareness. Even if I say to them, "Hey, you're getting a healing, you're getting an activation," they'd be like, "Oh my God, that's so amazing." They're still unconscious because they don't know what that means. They don't know what it means. It's not coming from them. They're not curious, they're not asking, they're not feeling, they're not thinking, they're not hearing, it's not theirs, it's yours you're trying to push that agenda onto them. This is what's so important about people that are, not at the same level of awareness that you are. Who cares? So what? First of all, stop bitching and moaning and complaining about it. Stop trying to think that you're better than somebody else. I didn't think I was better than these people when I knew that I was literally swimming with aliens in the ocean, higher dimensional Syrian consciousnesses on the 8-8 portal. And by the way, the woman in the boat, it was her birthday. Her birthday was 8-8, right? I didn't say to myself, I'm so much better than them. I didn't say to myself, oh my God, I better educate this woman. I didn't do any of that. It's not my role, right? There's nothing wrong with explaining, "Hey, did you know that these are Syrian consciousnesses that you're swimming in?" And it's like, sure, you can give them that information, but if they didn't ask for it, it's most likely not gonna make an impact on them, right? Same with, you guys know that I use urine. You know that I'm gonna be talking about it more and more, and I don't force it on anyone. I don't talk about it to people out in the world, you know? Because if there's a curiosity, then people will look for it. If there's a resonance, then people will dive deeper. The awareness will be given. They'll start to observe, right? You're going to notice more and more as you continue to awaken that most people around you are not in the same world as you. I was laying out at the beach today before I jumped on here, which is why my hair is literally like this. And I was looking around and I was like, wow, I live in a very different world than all these people. And on one level, it was very, very lonely. I felt in that moment a very lonely feeling, like almost scary lonely, like, wow, I'm doing this, like there's these I am in a different world, literally, energetically in a different world, right? And then the next moment I was like, but we're all here together physically, so I know that I'm not alone, but it can feel very lonely in that sense when you realize that nobody else is has the same awareness that you do. The key is that you're not better than them. The key is that you're not judging them. The key is to not say, I'm better than. How could you not be evolving and ascending and all this bullshit that we do? Such bullshit. It's so ridiculous. The new age community has literally lost their minds. I'm sorry, but they have. This idea that this divide that's happening, it's crazy. We want to be able to embrace the fact that we're going to start to feel a bifurcation or a splitting of the world that we're in more and more. And the role is not to make it more of a divide. The role is to unify us in that. So there I am laying down. And the way that I unify myself with humanity, even though I literally feel like I'm in a different world, is that I recognize that we're all standing here together. So I may be experiencing a very different world than they are, right? Which is where we start to understand the splitting of two worlds. It's energetic. I may be experiencing this loneliness, this nobody understands me. How can they not see where I am? I don't do that. I just recognize that I have a lens that most people are not using or feeling. And then I also drop deeper in and I say, but we are all having this human experience and we're all choosing the way we're going to have it. And I may continue to split and I may continue to feel more and more alone. I may continue to feel like I don't necessarily fit, but I will absolutely, unequivocally, without a doubt, continue to force myself to be in this human experience, engaging and interacting with every human that does not understand me, that cannot see the way I see, and that I can find a common ground. I can find a common ground in a family that is literally drinking Coors beer, eating Cheetos and Oreos at the beach and, whatever. I can find a common ground there because they're human. And there is a There is something beautiful about that. I don't have to say to myself, "Oh my god, they're eating differently than me. Oh my god, they're doing this. Oh my god, they're so unaware. Oh my" I don't why would you do that? Why would you continue to make it worse and create a divide? Why would you say, "Oh my god, they're in a low frequency. I can't hang out with them." Only high vibe, high frequency people are going to move into a different vibration. You're not ascending. Only the ones that do this are ascending. You've got to keep your heart open to do this, and you got to the bullshit. What you got to do is learn compassion and empathy. Period. That's what you gotta do. What you gotta do is stop it dividing, but as if you're the right, as if these, this idea that, uh, there's any way to do this or that we're doing anything. It's bullshit. The key here that we're trying to that the this evolution is trying to teach us is that, we're all in this together, we're all in this together, and to stop acting as if other humans are doing it in a bad, wrong, or lower vibrational way. Who cares if somebody's in a lower vibration? What does that even mean? What, you're always in a high vibration? You're always freaking in love and light? You're this high vibe person all the time? Bullshit. I call bullshit on that. That's impossible. You're not any better than the people that you may be complaining about and bitching about. You just have an awareness around it. That's it. We all are going up and down right now. We all are. The more that we can be transparent and humbled about who we are and how we're experiencing the world, the more we'll be able to embrace everyone. This is about unifying in a massive split, right? And having this idea that you're this, powerful, potent being that's going to be able to somehow transcend uh, this reality. You transcend the lower dimensional realms, you transcend the lower frequencies by remembering that you aren't it. The second you realize you're not it, you're not trying to escape it. You're not afraid of it. You're not trying to get out of it. That's what the new age community does. They try to escape and get out of it. I'm not there anymore. I'm up here. Oh, really? What are you so afraid of down there? What scares you so much about low vibrations? Why are you so afraid of it? Why are you so adamant about moving into high frequencies all the time? What are you running from? What are you pretending to step into? What are you pretending to be in all the time? It's bullshit. None of us are anywhere near being in these states that we all teach. We're going through a massive evolutionary shift. And it's a matter of being humble to it all and stop trying to pretend. Just there's so much deception out there right now with the humans. It's so bad. The deception is we're deceiving ourselves, we're deceiving friends and families, we're deceiving the outside world by pretending. We want to we it's about being as authentic and raw and real as you possibly can with yourself. There's a humility that is being asked of you right now. There is a humility that is being asked of all of us right now. A deep, deep humility of being able to accept all of you, accept the super, super dark, dark shit that you don't want to see, accept the super, super dark stuff that you see in other people, right? Stop trying to go anywhere or get out of anything. The only reason you want to get out of anything is because you think that you are what you're in. The second you realize you're not any of it, you're not what you're in, you're just feeling it. And it feels scary and it feels uncomfortable and it doesn't feel good. Then you realize that you are humbled, right? That's why when people are multimillionaires and they lose all their money, they get real humble real fast. They act very differently in the world. They no longer see themselves up here. They realize, "Holy shit, I'm with everybody else." They've always been with everybody else. They've just believed that because they have all of this money, they're better than. So when really insane things, if you get really, really sick or you almost die, right? It's a humbling process. It drops you back down. All of a sudden you need help from people. You're becoming humble. All of a sudden you need people. You become humble. right? You were trying to, it was almost like there was a bypassing that happens when everything's fabulous, when you have all the money in the world, when you have everything you need, right? You don't actually have to like drop down into deep humility. That we are being asked to drop into deep, deep humility. And that's where the heart, that's where like the heart center is so potent, so prominent when you are, when you're able to embrace your own shit you don't wanna see, and when you're able to embrace the shit you don't wanna see in others, you know? And when you find a common ground, you know? The common ground is that we're all humans trying to navigate this world. The common ground is that we're literally all trying to do the best we can. The common ground is that we all have been going through some really intense things the last couple of years and maybe most of your life. Who knows? I don't know what these people on the beach have gone through, right? Starting to use that lens instead of this lens of like, I have this awareness and nobody else has it, and this sucks. No, use the lens of like, wow, definitely feel very different than most of these people, but wow, we're all doing this. We're all in this together. We're all navigating it. So many times I look around and I'm like, what's it like to just have a family where you're just kind of doing life, and you got your cooler of snacks and jelly, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and like you don't have to worry about like trauma and shadow shit 24/7, and like the evolution of your consciousness and what you're experiencing, the lens you're using. And that's my day, right? I'm constantly just like exploring, dissecting. I'm the scientist all day long. Still having fun and enjoying life, but I'm always in that space, right? So I look around, I'm like, what's it like to just not give a fuck? To just live life, to just be in life, and to not know what's going on, right? Like to not know that there's mass corruption. And so instead of me looking at people and being like, God, they're so asleep, they're this, and it's like, no, I look at them and I'm like, what is that like? What is that like? I just see it as a different experience. I see it as a different expression of the human. A lot of people are gonna say, "Yeah, but they are gonna keep us uh, in these programs." No, they're not. This is all of the whole entire human collective is evolving. We're all gonna be doing it. It's all happening, you know? And, the more you can let go and let it happen, um, the easier it will be for everyone, you know? No, I've never really wanted to have kids. Um There was one time about, I don't know, what year is it today? One time almost 10 years ago, I was with my boyfriend, we were living together, and we actually were trying to have a kid, and, I didn't get pregnant, and I know why, because I was very fertile when I was younger, in my 20s and 30s, and, I know why I never had kids and never really had this strong desire. I also know why I never got married, because I was engaged once, and then I broke it off 3 months before. My belief, it's a belief, right? But my belief is that it would have been extremely difficult for me to do what I came here to do on the planet if I had a child, um, and if I was married to the person I was going to marry. Thank God I didn't. And I was thinking about this today when I was laying at the beach. The last 8 years, I haven't really had a really serious partner, and I remember thinking to myself and talking to myself, like, "I wonder, like, why have I not had, like, a real serious partner?" And it was a really clear message that came in through me. It was like, "It would have been very difficult for you to get to where you are." You had to be, for the most part, solely focused on you, and I'm okay with that, and it's not a selfish thing. Many people might say, well, that's very selfish of you, blah, blah, blah. But no, it's just what I came here to do, just the path I took. Again, this is another example of like, can we just allow, like, there's so much judgment on the planet right now. There's nothing wrong with judging. We all judge. I judge people, you judge people, we judge. Judgment is part of its duality, its polarity. We got to judge, it's just part of it. We don't got to judge, but judgment is, there's judgment. But you really want to pay attention to how you're participating in judgment, um, and how it's coming up in your life right now, because it's going to get more and more intense for a lot of us, and it's pretty potent out there right now. Um, yeah. Does the soul choose? I mean, some souls do choose, and some souls don't. So a lot of people, a lot of spirits choose to have children. A lot of spirits don't choose to have children. And then when you come down, you have free will. So you create an Akashic record, sort of a blueprint for how you want life to go when you drop into the human experience, because there's just so much to experience that when you have like a map, your higher self can kind of guide you. That's why we have an Akashic record. It's truly a map in the chaos. Okay. But we have free will. So when you have free will, what that means is that you always get to choose, regardless of what's in the Akashic record. So if you chose to have children as a soul, you drop in and then you start navigating life. And for whatever reason, the choice of having children never pops in. You either make a different choice, you end up not dating the person that you agreed and contracted to have the child with. Maybe you're really sick because of like the foods and the chemicals and the poison, so your body can't have the child. There's all kinds of weird things that can come in. Let's say that you choose to not, your soul chooses not to have a child. Okay. From the Akashic record, you're like, I'm just going to go in like me. Right. Well, I had 2 ectopic pregnancies. I tried to have a child. Right. So I wasn't necessarily, my free will was, um, canceling the Akashic record, which was you're not supposed to have children. You agreed to not have children. The more that you are connected and aligned with your higher self, the more that you will be following what you planned in this lifetime. That's why tapping in and aligning with your signature is so important, because your signature is the blueprint of why you're here. So there's a comfort to it. You don't have to like the signature, right? But there's a comfort in knowing that you are in alignment with why you're here. So my free will almost trumped my Akashic record, but for whatever reason, there was guidance that was stopping that. I never got married. Something stopped that. There was a guidance that stopped it. I almost got pregnant multiple times. There was guidance that stopped it. Right? So there's always guidance if we're listening and if we're trusting. That's why I never say to myself, why did this happen? This sucks. I never do that. No matter how horrible things were that unraveled for me, or are, if I'm in a moment where something is really, really painful and I really don't wish I wasn't experiencing it, I always know that it's for my highest good. I always know it. I know that everything is being guided by my higher self, which is an aspect of me. So a lot of us are being asked to step into that space of trust. Do you trust? Right? Are you listening? Are you following? And at this point in our lives, at this point in the awakening and the evolution, your higher self is going to get very, very loud with you. So stop fighting against what's unraveling. Stop fighting against what's uncomfortable. Stop fighting against what you don't want to feel, what you don't want to see, what you don't want to accept in life. Those are the moments that you are being pivoted into the why of being on the planet. What you have designed for yourself, the partner, the job, the abundance, the joy, all of that. We are stepping out of an Akashic record that is holding us in a third dimensional realm, and we are starting to step into just the aligned signature, the truest expression of what is waiting for us. You know? Anyway, that's it. Class is done. You can always ask why questions, just don't demand an answer. This is the part about being in a surrendered state. You can ask why. Why did this happen? Why did this happen? Why am I going through this? Why this? But just don't have any attachment to an answer. The more you have an attachment to an answer, the more you're going to be in suffering. And the more you're going to anchor into the now. You're going to anchor a reality in trying to figure out an answer. So you're going to be stuck trying to figure out an answer when you need to be in a flow state, when you need to be in movement. And the way you're in a flow state and in movement is to stop needing answers. The answers come when the answers arrive, and then you have an answer. Until then, you just keep moving. One of the reasons that we feel stuck many times and like something is permanent is because you're trying to figure it out. You're trying to make sense of something. You're racking your brain. That anchors in a moment in time that stays with you. And then there's suffering. Stop trying to find answers. Just ask the question if you have a question, and then forget about ever receiving an answer, and then you'll move. If you're designed to have an answer to it, you'll give yourself the answer. If you're not, let go of trying to be in control. This goes back to what we started in the very beginning. Stop trying to be in control. Stop trying to think that you have all the answers and that you're going to find all the answers and that you're going to make this happen. We're designed to be in a non-permanent flow state all day long, which means that you are not in control, meaning your ego, mind, personality, the trauma aspects of you that are trying to control this world, the programmed aspects of you. There you go. All right, you guys, be gentle with yourself. I'll put the link down below for the wild dolphin swim if you're in the area. Panama City Beach. Dennis, he's an amazing man. I highly recommend everybody going and swimming with these amazing beings. It was incredible. I will see you next Tuesday for Untangled episode 15. I will be doing a live guided meditation this Thursday at 2 p.m. California time. It's going to be a very powerful, activating meditation, and most likely the dolphins are going to be with us. This meditation is going to be on my online community, Evolve. So the link is down below. It's an online community where I do all of my teachings, and all of that is in that community. So that's going to be Thursday, 2 p.m. California time. Pretty sure the dolphins are going to be there. There will be activations and healings. So really excited for that meditation. And anywho, I love you guys. Be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with others out there. Thank you for being a part of this. And I'll see you next week.